So if you look at the iPhone 12 lineup, it's not that easy to decide which one to go for. I mean, if you want the mini, then it's pretty simple. There's literally not a single flagship level 5G compact phone on the market, so iPhone 12 mini is the only one. Even if you're currently using an Android phone, there's literally no option at all. iPhone 12 mini is it for all those who want a mini phone. If you want the absolute biggest, that's the iPhone 12 Pro Max. It's also fairly easy to decide, but then there are two 6.1-inch models. I think this is where it's all about the big confusion, and only one of them is worth getting, and that model is also probably the best iPhone in this whole lineup. So 6.1-inch iPhone 12 starts at $799 for 64GB internal storage, which is actually way too low. I mean, especially with high quality 4K videos and apps taking a lot of space. I mean, 128GB should have been like the absolute basic default storage for all iPhone models, but if you go with the 128GB iPhone 12, that adds extra $79 on top, so you're looking at $879. It still is around $120 cheaper than the starting iPhone 12 Pro model, which starts at $1,000 for 128GB. So this year, Apple has finally dished the LCD display for good. The iPhone 12 is rocking almost exactly the same 6.1-inch Super Retina XDR OLED display as the 6.1-inch iPhone 12 Pro. Finally, no LCD, no thicker bezels. It's almost on the same level. The Pro has better brightness, 800 nits, versus the iPhone 12, which has 625 nits, but both have the peak brightness of 1200 nits, so there isn't any noticeable difference this time around. We also have the same Apple A14 chip. We also have probably the same battery sizes, as Apple has mentioned same battery timings for both of these two models, like literally almost exactly the same battery performance with no difference at all. Perhaps the only big and the visual difference that you see with the iPhone 12 Pro compared to the iPhone 12, that is with the cameras. You get an extra telephoto lens on the back of the iPhone 12 Pro, which allows for 2x lossless zoom, whereas the iPhone 12 doesn't have any zoom lens. It can only do digital zoom, but the main camera sensor is similar on both phones, which is coming at f1.6 aperture. The ultra wide angle lens is also similar on both devices. Now the Pro has the LiDAR 3D scanner. This is gonna work with AR applications and also in dark to improve autofocus. It also helps in the portrait mode images, even in like night situation. The blur on the background will probably be more accurate than the iPhone 12, but the iPhone 12 still rocks the main camera sensor similar to the iPhone 12 Pro, and Apple has even showed off the portrait image of the iPhone 12 in a low light scenario, and honestly it looked pretty damn good. Now portrait mode on iPhone 12 will work only on faces, whereas the iPhone 12 Pro can focus on pretty much any object. Both phones have night mode working with all lenses, even with the front camera. Both can shoot 4K video in Dolby Vision HDR, but the iPhone 12 is only limited to 30 frames per second, whereas the Pro can go 60 frames per second in 4K Dolby Vision HDR mode. I'm actually surprised that we have the Dolby Vision HDR feature on the non-Pro iPhones as well. As for the normal 4K video, they can do at 30 or 60 frames per second. You also get raw image support on all iPhones. All iPhone 12 models get Smart HDR3 and diffusion on all lenses. Like I said, last year it was about the LCD display, thicker bezels. There were quite a lot of difference with the hardware and design, but this time the iPhone 12 is getting all the features as the Pro model. The only real feature that I see on the iPhone 12 Pro is the extra telephoto lens, and honestly, I feel like the iPhone 12 Pro is like the least model that I will recommend to you guys. If you want to go beyond the iPhone 12, then instead of paying $1,000 for the iPhone 12 Pro and only really paying for the telephoto lens, you might as well buy the iPhone 12 Pro Max, which has some massive differences when it comes to the battery performance. You get a 40% larger camera sensor for the main camera, 2.5x zoom that can be digitally extended to 10x level, Dolby Vision HDR video at 60 frames per second. All those features make more sense with the iPhone 12 Pro Max. Again, it's rocking a massive 6.7-inch screen, which might be too big for some people. I feel like the 6.1-inch is like the best appropriate size for the iPhone. Also, the Pro Max starts at $1,100, so it's almost $200 expensive than the 128GB model of the iPhone 12. So in comparison, I feel like the iPhone 12 is the best model out of all the iPhones, and iPhone 12 Pro is like the least model that I will recommend to anyone. If you want to spend money on the Pro, then it's better to just buy the iPhone 12 Pro Max. It's got a lot more upgrades. If not that, then the standard iPhone 12 is the best option with the 128GB storage. As always, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Do you agree or disagree? Also, be sure to like this video, subscribe for daily tech videos, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.